Hello Internet! Today we're gonna fine-tune our Gradio app that has as an input some transformer models from HuggingFace. And what we will do is we will achieve our very best with the Gradio app. So I'll show you the code, and within 5 minutes you should be able to have your web application finished and up and running to go. Here we go. We are in our COLAB notebook. We have to install Gradio. We have to install our CPU PyTorch version of transformers. We will see that we don't need a CPU. We don't need CUDA today. And we are gonna import the GPT-neo-1.3 billion free parameter model from HuggingFace so that we can operate with this within our COLAB notebook. Now, if you know that we are gonna optimize a little bit the model, and as you can see here, we have now activated the top K and the top P optimizations. And if you are familiar with it, with the top K sampling, the K most likely next word are filtered, and the probability mass is redistributed among only those K next words. But this could be limiting the sample pool. So therefore, there was in 2019 the top P, or the nucleus sampling methodology, and we also applied the top P sampling. We can use both of this at the same time, and this is exactly what we are doing here. You are familiar, we are here with our model, and as always, we have a Gradio interface. We have defined a function. I'll show you in a second. And as always, we have our input. This is just a simple text box with some default sentence in it. And we have our outbox. Outputs, and this is also a text box. We have now a CSS defined, and this is the beauty. And I'll show you here what I did with this. So you can change the background color. You can, with CSS, set a new title color, the font weight, the font size. For your input text, you have a different background color. You can have the panel buttons, different colors, the panel header, different sizes and line heights. And of course, the output text you can also change to your whatever you think fits perfectly for this. So downloading our, where are we? Almost 5 gigabytes of the GPT-neo 1.3 billion model is coming to an end in about 50 seconds. So therefore, the next thing is to do, we have some example sentences that we want to use as the startup for the AI text generator that we apply here. And then, as I told you, we have defined our function. I call it text gen for text generation. We have our tokenizers, we have our model, we have our input, we have a minimum length again, we have the maximum length. Like in the last time for 127 set. And now in this other parameter, you can play around a little bit. For the top K optimization, I just said 22 words. And for the top P probability distribution, I say the top P sampling should be at least 0.93%. Then, of course, I want to have not just one output, but I want to have 2 completed sentences as an output to see if I have positive, positive, or positive, negative. And this is it. This is the Gradio interface, as I just showed you. And if we have finished loading, oh, wow, look at the RAM. We are close to 11.67. Just managed it with our 12.6. Oh, this was really close. I mean, have a look at this. Wait a second, where was it? Yeah, wow, look at how we spiked here. This was, wow, nice. And now that we have finished loading, finally we can execute now our little Gradio model and create our app in pure Python without any other problems. So let's have a look at this. Wow, here we are. So This is either you have it here inline in your COLAB notebook, or as you can see here, you will have a public URL. And I just put this public URL here on the right side, in case you wondered what is this black space for. This is exactly that I can show you. This is how it would look on your web browser. As you can see here, I have a very beautiful background color, and it is whatever, this very decent red one. And then you can say, hey, the third planet in our solar system is, you can choose it from the examples here, you submit it, and the moment you submit it, you can see here that you have here this Gradio symbol pulsating, and it tells you the time it needs to compute this. And since, as I can show you here, we have a maximum length of 127 and a minimum length now specified particularly to our needs of 30, this is now going to take some time, because now it really kind of has to build and calculate a story. So I suppose this is the program. As let's run through it while we wait. You install your Gradio, you install your transformer, your PyTorch. This is it. Then you, just as you do normally with your transformer, you import your transformer tokenizer, your transformer model. As I told you, GPT-neo-1.3 billion free parameters does not just crush our 12.7 GB RAM available on the free standard COLAB notebook. And then you just define whatever your function you want to have. In my case, I have here my model generate function. And then you define your Gradio interface. You have 3 elements again. The function you defined, you have your input, you have your output, and the rest is just title, theme, CSS, article, example, predefined sentences. Here, this is my examples. You can rename that, and as I showed you here in this CSS block, you can change the color of almost anything that you like. So play around with it, and maybe red is a little bit strong, but just for demonstration purposes. And as you can see here, we are close to 114 seconds. We are running here on COLAB, and we use up 6.5 gigabytes. And this is it. So here we are. So the first, remember, we have 2 elements that I was looking for. My number of return sequences here is 2. So first I called storytelling. The third planet in our solar system is named Oumuamua. No, this planet is known as a super Earth. Oumuamua is not the name. The third planet in our solar system is named not Oumuamua. I'm sorry. This is wrong. And the second answer we got, you remember, we want 2 answers. The third planet is named Heaven by Hindus. And is, okay, the name is a Sanskrit word, home of the Lord. It is located at the southern western corner of our planet's orbit and is called the Diamond Planet. Its distance from Earth is about 2.5 million kilometers, so this means no. Both of them, although we kind of tuned our model with the top K and the top P performance parameter, this is not the correct answer. So again, you see here, if you build an app and the app takes the HuggingFace model and uses the HuggingFace model to calculate the response, you always have to be aware that there's a risk involved that the answer we will get, the output of the model you will get, is not fact-checked. Because this is just that the model learned something and it just gives you an output. And as you can verify very easily with this simple question, this output is not the third planet in our solar system. Now imagine you have more polarizing question or sentences, COVID-19 vaccines. Now if you would use this, and you can do this because I showed you here, this is the little program in Python in your COLAB notebook, so very easy to implement. You can play around with this, and you see you have to be aware of the limitations of your project, of the HuggingFace models, and the intended use, the commercial use of anything you bring to the market, remember, if you're within the European Union, you have to have a risk assessment, you have to reply or apply to the EU regulation on data privacy and even in the United States. I'm sure that if you apply this for commercial use and you got an answer like this, imagine you have a system that calculates your credit worthiness, you might not be satisfied with the output. So be careful, understand what you're dealing with, and enjoy the code. It is a very simple Python code. Play around and enjoy the possibilities of these models. I see you in the next video.